Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna build a new Lego microscale MOC. It's gonna be again a sort of fantasy medieval thing, but instead of minifigure scale like last week, today I'm gonna build something in microscale. And I'm gonna build a sort of castle that is gonna overlook a small town on the side of the sea. See, here we have a big base plate, 16 by 32. I built a sort of terrain kind of thing, so I went for a very tall base and then I filled up the water. You can see on the inside I have different shade of blue, and we can already start to fill up a little bit the tiles. I leave some open just to give you a little bit an idea. You see I have some bricks as well on how this is coming together. Over here I already built different layers. I have some big rock pieces over here, as well as some details and different kind of slopes on the side. I even use one of these geode pieces over here to create a little bit of additional detail. Over here I'm gonna add some sort of dock for a couple of ships that I'm gonna show you in a moment. But actually when I started to build this MOC, I didn't start from the base, but I started from the castle. I decided to go for a 10 color scheme with golden accent. I'm not super happy about the castle, but I think it turned out well. The color scheme is okay. What I was trying to do, this is gonna be more or less on top here, is some sort of big massive wall. Just remember that this is a micro scale. I added some details inside. Here we have a sort of big square, big plaza that is gonna be overlooking the town. You can see I build in many different directions, and then I have another structure that is gonna connect inside. You can see I have a lot of arches sideways, so this is gonna sit inside, connect to the jumper, and now we have the biggest part of the castle together, and then there's gonna be a little bit of additions behind. Here you can see I also added one saxophone piece, and here I have one of these round head to create this big dome. So this is gonna more or less sit over here. Once I created this and I had an idea a little bit of the scale, then I started to build up the base. The next thing I wanted to create is some sort of waterfall over here. So I create a simple structure like this. So here we have this sort of river that is flowing down into a waterfall. This is gonna connect just with one stud there on the side. So we have this waterfall on an angle. And then I want to create some big column to create a sort of additional side of the castle. So this is the structure I came up with. So this is gonna have the waterfall inside. I have a stud there that is gonna connect at the bottom. So here we have some rock formation with this big tall column that going up to keep the structure in place, and here we have a sort of lighthouse viewpoint kind of thing. I think it works out pretty well and is something that I wanted to incorporate in the build. After I build this, just remember then later this is gonna sit more or less like this. I went and built all the area around here and the town. What I did with the town, I wanted to create some sort of covered area with some like tent kind of thing. So I decided to use some of these capes. Here you can see how I connect them with some modified plates. This is gonna connect at the back there, and I use this part, I don't know exactly how this is called, connected sideways in between the studs, and this is gonna just sit on top. So it looks like we have a sort of support on top of this. But then of course I need to make sure that this is gonna be pressed down, so I need to build another structure on top that are gonna cover that. That is gonna be this one. So here I have again another of those tent kind of thing. This one is not actually connected, but it's just sliding through. So of course we can see only the tip of this. We are not gonna see the whole cape. Here I use some teacups upside down to create some little houses, and then a little bit of additional parts in brown and dark red to create all the different roofs. I also try to add this accessory because I think it looks quite like a sort of tall structure, tall building or something like that. I was actually planning on maybe using it upside down, but I didn't find a way to connect it, so I decided to just slide it into place from here. So let's see if I can do this without messing around. This is gonna slide in, so that one is not supported, but it's gonna stay in place once everything is connected. So I have a connection over here and I have another connection over there. So now I can just press everything down and now nothing is gonna move around. You can see now this is up there. I think we have a nice view of this sort of little town with a tan and white color scheme with all this darker tan that are gonna then go, let's say this could be a sort of market area that connects then to the dock over here. Over here you can see that we have a couple of empty spaces. Later we are gonna add the ships. I wanted to continue here with the rocks, so I decided to use some more interesting parts. For example, I have this big rock piece that I can connect over here, and I also have this weird part that I sometimes use when I have to build some rock work, and I think they work kind of well to create this rock formation that goes up into the woods. Over there I use different parts. For example, here you can see two of those. I also spread some of these around the rocks on the right side, and of course I use also some of these or as some small pine trees. So here we going into the woods and then the rock formation go up into the castle. Over here I wanted to build something a little bit taller at the back, so I have one of these inverted slopes that is gonna connect to the bracket over there, and then another one of these more regular slopes, a tall one, that is gonna go over there, so it looks like the mountain then go and continue at the back. Over here I decided to add a few more little houses. This time I use a different kind of rounded shape parts. I actually decided to add that because I didn't have enough slopes to complete the rock formation, so I thought it was nice to give another layer of houses going towards the castle. Now over there you can see I have a little stud here at the back, and here is all plated, so that is what I'm gonna use to connect the castle. So I'm gonna take this that is actually now sitting on a plate, and I'm gonna connect this to the more or less third slot over there. So now we can check if everything is aligned properly. So this saxophone should work as the cover of this tower over here. I think it works quite okay, even if I didn't manage to cover all the gaps properly, but I think it works okay. I really wanted to include that. I have a few different tower pieces coming off the side and going up with a little bit of extra details on top. And then, of course, I have a big gap over here at the back, so I wanted to fill it up. So I build a big structure, a bit square, with a little bit of extra details. And this is just gonna connect over here. And it's gonna fill up the gap so that when we see the MOC from this way, we have all the back side of the castle and it looks filled and it doesn't look like there are many gaps. And as well, if I turn this around, we have a little bit of additional things there at the back. Now let's add a last couple of details touches, which are a couple of ships that are made just with 3 parts plus the elastic band. So what I was going for is like if the sailing boat are dock over there at the docks and the sails are lower down. So I hope the effect works in the way I wanted. I would have made the ships in brown, but I didn't have the right color for this part, so I went for black. Let me know in the comments down below if you think those works well in this way. Another thing I add is one loose plate over there, so when the waterfall hit the sea, then it creates a little bit of additional water foam, and I think that's a nice touch. And then I wanted to add a little dragon, considering that this is a sort of fantasy medieval kind of thing. So here the build that I made for the dragon. I use one of those Batman accessories connected down below to the cone, and then a minifigure end connected to the side as, let's say, the tail of the dragon that is flying down on top of the castle towards the bay. So this is gonna connect something like that on top. So guys, let me know what you think about this latest build. This is made for 2 contests that I will link down below. I'm double dipping again for, again, Brixcalibur. In this case, they have a medieval micro category, and also for the Colossal Castle contest on ClassicCastle.com. They also have a micro castle category, so I'm gonna enter this in both. Do remember to check out my micro scales playlist. I have a lot of different builds, and also I have a playlist for all my micro scale habitats. I do recommend you to check it out. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Please consider to leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao!